guys, this is Tiana here at Functioning Mommy, and today I'm going to have a review for you on the Pathway readers. And so I was struggling to find something in English. Now, back up, I am a new homeschool mom. I have a third grader, he's 8 and a half, and then I have a preschooler. She's kind of along for the ride, so it's kind of preschool, but she's enjoying it, so I'm having fun with her. So, two of my subjects, history and English. Those were two subjects that I totally not struggled getting the grades in the subjects, but I just did not enjoy English. I did not enjoy history. So for me, stepping into homeschooling and having to teach those subjects just freaked me out. So I wanted to find something simple enough, but challenging enough for him and for me to understand. And so a friend of mine who is actually an English teacher by trade, now she's a homeschool mom, actually recommended these to me. And so I wasn't understanding what the difference between them and Rod and Staff were, and anyway, so I'm going to share with you just my beginner's tips of what I'm loving about this, what I've changed, and I realize, and how many other homeschool moms have told me, be flexible, it's okay to change, and I'm totally up for that. Like, I just love getting new books in the mail because I'm a nerd, and so these are simple enough to change up, and I found things that I've already wanted to change while we're using them. So I'm going to go through my tips and share with you guys why we are loving them, and we will have fun. Alright, so this is the New Friends workbook and reader for the third level, or what I guess would be third grade. And that's what we went with, my third grader, since coming out of public school. And I wanted to make sure that we were just on point. He does not enjoy writing unless it's something he's chosen and he's totally in the moment. So we've got the workbook, we've got the reader, and we do not have the teacher's guide. So the teacher's guide, from what I can tell, is, like a little workbook like this. But I tell you what, I wish I would have gotten the teacher's guide, and it's in the mail, so hopefully it's not too late. But we'll start off with the reader. So the reader is super small. I just love this. It's packed with little tiny stories, and they range from like 7, 8, 9 pages, and it's just easy to take around as we're traveling and doing things, so makes it simple. So I know there's Rod and Staff, which both Rod and Staff and Pathway readers, they are have an Amish background, but from my understanding, even though I've not used Rod and Staff, my understanding is they are a lot more religious in their content, and so far I really haven't come across too much religious, more so lessons and morals and values through these stories. So here's a reading series, and it does actually have something before this. There's a primer, like a pre-primer, and a sound, so you can do that before. They suggest to do it for the first few weeks before you do first steps. So there are looks like 3 for first grade, 3 for second grade, 2 for third grade, which is, we're going to review New Friends today, and then 1 going for each grade, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And so what I love about these is they're written in like 1977, there we go, 1977. And I love that because being that Amish don't use electricity, and there's no video game references, electricity reference. I just love that a lot of it's outdoors, it's family, and so it could be a little bit to get used to for those kids who need a lot of action. And my son loves science, he loves nature, so I think it's keeping him going. And he doesn't like doing reading by himself, he loves it when we read to him. So this gets him to read during the day, and they're short enough that he can get it done. And so what I did was I just went through the different stories there were, and there were, I believe it was 36. How I figured it out was I just counted how many stories, and then I decided we were going to do 2 stories a week with the workbook. And so if we did 2 stories a week, this would take us halfway through 18 weeks of the school year, and then I would get the second book, which I'm just going to assume has about the same, and take us through the rest of the year. So we do 2 stories a week with the workbooks attached to it. And so we'll just go, and there are a few poems in here, so that will give us some grace time to just read the poems. And what I had my son do with the poems, and they were just like half a page, I just had him do it as copy work. So he will read the stories, and I love the font is nice and spaced out, doesn't take him long. Black and white pictures, but great pictures. just enough to keep him going till the next picture. And this one was a cute story about getting groceries. And so anyways, they've got some great values within these. And you just go through, and I have him read one story on Monday. And then we grab the workbook. So here's the workbook. And again, super light and durable. He can do this in the car while we're going around with sister. And so, I just go through and I check it with him. But what I have learned is, because we didn't start from the beginning, there are sections in here, and let me see if I can find one for you guys, where they're using, the dictionary type grammar notations. I don't even know what they're called because I'm not an English major and I didn't learn this in school. But as far as I know, this starts in the beginning, teaching them more. And so my friend who's an English major said they didn't even learn this till college. So I have decided to not have him do some of these until we can work through this, and he's just going through and doing the other sections. So that's how I've changed it up. We do other things for English, and it's just too frustrating for him to do this because there's not enough lesson in there, and I don't have a teacher's guide. So the other thing is, each story has about 3 pages in the workbook. So I gave him a little reminder here, do the reading page first. And so what that means is there's a page later in the workbook for this specific story, and it's comprehension. And so I was finding he would do this last and he wasn't remembering it from the day before. And so I wanted him to remember more and comprehend more of it, because it breaks it down of what he, recalling what he read in the story. For example, this one, he got a ton wrong just because there were so many details. There are sections where they actually, here we go, they have him call out what page and what paragraph number this specific detail happened on. And so, one, not having the teacher's guide, Mom has to go back and literally read every single page of the story to actually correct these. So get the teacher's guide if you're going to be correcting the answers. And then, so I would have him do the reading comprehension section of the story. And then what I'm finding are the other 2 pages are grammar and spelling and filling in the blanks, how many syllables are in a word, spelling, definition. So there's a nice variety here. And so it takes him not too long. I have him read the story first, do the comprehension page, and then the next day I have him do the other 2 pages of the workbook. Then by Wednesday we move on to the second story, and he takes 2 days to finish that second story. So we get through 2 stories a week. And like I said, we have changed that up. I just feel free to cross out whatever I don't want him to do, and then he works on this. So I'm loving these. I'm loving the values that they have in them, and the simplicity of, literally, this was, the reader was like $6.50 through Rainbow Resource. I think the workbook was like $2, and the teacher's guide I think is $2.95. So $2, $5, $11, $12 plus tax is totally inexpensive. And then if I were to do both, it's about $24 for the year. So I love the price point of them. I love how easy they are and to change them up. So I hope that helps as far as the readers. I'm really just enjoying them, and hopefully you guys will enjoy them too. All right, well, with that, you guys have a fabulous day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, friends.